I push back on overcoming objections, because some objections you can't overcome. Some you just got to handle. So being able to handle the objection and have the dialogue with the buyer. And the thing I just talked about, it's really interesting. I just talked about this yesterday, is making sure that we never lose sight of the empathy and understanding, especially when we're talking about these larger purchases. Maybe it's not, necessarily talking about I'm buying a new pen, but talking about these larger purchases that involve a lot of emotion. It's really being empathetic to the situation. Especially, we talk about homes a lot. There's a lot of different reasons why people move, and it's not always a good thing. And we need to understand what that is and why, and be empathetic, not just for the sale. We have to kind of remove ourselves from the idea of getting the sale, which I know sounds crazy. Salespeople look at me like, what do you mean? I want the sale. I like nice cars. I get it. But we got to remove ourselves from the idea of this is a sale. This is a human that I'm trying to understand their situation and help them get to resolution. And if I can do that, I'm in a really good place. And then, of course, the cheat sheet for me is always make sure that we are seeking continuous coaching, always making sure. I don't say this as a sales coach, but I say this as a person that understands that there's a ton that you can learn from the person that has been doing this for 20 years or the person that's been doing it for 20 minutes. There's a lot out there that you can learn, and always being an open book and being willing to take feedback. And even if that's criticism, take direction, take guidance, but always pull from what's around you, what's working, what's not working, and keep that student mentality 24/7. If you can do that, you become, kind of cliche, but you become market proof, where if you're the person that's always willing to learn and adapt and change, there's no thing that can happen in the market that's going to really break you out of your foundation. You'll be good. You got to make some adjustments, but you'll be good.
It's interesting you say that. I agree with you. Whether you're on this side of the age scale or that side of the age scale, a lot of people, now Joel and I don't have this issue, right? Like Joel has been very open to, hey, you guys that work here when I first got here are 105 years old, but I still want to figure out and pick your brain. But at the same time, I see a lot of value in the way Joel looks at his sales strategy and, today's marketplace and today's buyer. So if you've got a good dynamic, then there's a value add there, no matter how old the people are that you're dealing with on the sales staff. But what I run into a lot, especially when I'm talking to new interviewees, is this is how I've done it. This is what I believe in. And it comes from both sides, right? It could be a person who's been in the business for 20, 30 years, and they say, I do mailers, or I do emails, or I do whatever. Or it could be the person that's brand new and they only believe in, IG or Facebook stories, or, whatever it is. None of it all works alone well, but altogether it can be an invaluable set of tools. That's what I've kind of come across with that in particular.
Yeah. And I love that you talk about value. I think that's something that, going from who we are as professionals and going to, the people that we serve, right? It's all about the value. Making sure that I can show and deliver value is really important. And also understanding that value can come in a lot of different forms. So I can't be so egotistical and so proud of what I've done to think that I can't get value from someone new or from someone that comes from a different background or different expertise. And that's the thing that I hear a lot as well is, this is the way that I've always done it. This has always worked. Well, let me tell you, the things that always work don't always work. Yeah. So being willing to kind of put your ego, I say this all the time, is your ego is not always your amigo.